What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and it's time for the playoff eliminator. After week 6 of the college football season, many teams have now already played half of their schedule. So we know a lot about these teams now, and we're going to be doing the format just a little bit different this week. And we're going to start off with the teams that I think are the top contenders to make the playoffs and how I think it's going to play out. This is not necessarily what's going to happen, just my thoughts. All right, so I think that the winner of the Auburn-Alabama game is probably going to get to the playoffs. I know Georgia is in there as well, and Auburn potentially could have to beat Georgia twice and Alabama. That's a tough task. The more I think about it, yeah, Auburn's probably not going to make the playoffs. But the front runners to me are the winners of this game, Auburn-Alabama. Clemson, I think they're the clear team that they're going to get in unless NC State upsets them, or maybe they get upset in the ACC championship. The winner of Ohio State and Penn State, I think the winner of that game is probably going to get in. They're going to go on to win the Big Ten championship. And then Washington or TCU, I think one of those teams maybe loses the game, the other one goes undefeated, or it comes down to those two teams and the committee has to decide. But this is how I think the playoff race is going to go right now. Again, a lot can change, obviously. So how about the next teams we're going to talk about? These are the teams that are absolutely 100% still in control of their own destiny. If these teams win out, they're in the playoffs, guaranteed. Georgia, obviously, they're going to have to beat Auburn on the road and potentially Alabama in the SEC championship. Some other tough games there still to play on the schedule. Washington State, a tough schedule, a lot of road games for them. Miami has Notre Dame coming up. They'll have a tough ACC championship game. Virginia Tech. So Wisconsin, pretty easy road for them. They probably have the easiest road out of these four teams. But these are the four teams that definitely 100% still alive, or still in control. They're actually all undefeated. So I think all four of these teams have a really good shot at getting into the playoffs. But me personally, I don't think that these teams are going to get in. I think that it's going to be teams off of that page I just showed you. All right, so these are the four teams that are still undefeated, still in control. How about the next teams? These teams need some help. Georgia Tech, NC State, Oklahoma State, Virginia Tech, Texas Tech, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, USC, Michigan State, Kentucky, Virginia, and Michigan. Obviously, some of these teams, it's very unlikely that they get in. Kentucky and Virginia, teams like that. But these teams are still alive, technically. But they're all going to need some help. I think even if these teams go undefeated, they will need some help. Even Michigan, you look at them. If they win the rest of their games, they may not get into the Big Ten championship game. They're going to need Michigan State to lose 2 conference games, which I think that's probably going to happen. But still, these teams all need some help. Even with one loss, they're not guaranteed to get in. But most of these teams, if they win out, will probably get in. Notre Dame, USC, Oklahoma State probably going to get in, but there is no guarantee. The teams on the page I showed you before, they are guaranteed to get in if they win out. All right, so these teams, some still have a really good chance, some maybe not so much, but they're all still alive. And how about the teams that have been eliminated already? These are the teams that we eliminated, in previous weeks. You can look at the full list here. Missouri, Ole Miss. I'm not going to go through them. You can read them. The teams over on the right column, I think, are the teams that we eliminated last week. And again, I'm not discussing the group of 5 teams at all because I don't think that any of those teams can get in, even if they go undefeated. I've said this before, but I still get questions sometimes. Based on how the committee has voted in the past, I think that those teams, even if they go undefeated, have no chance of getting into the playoffs. Look at Western Michigan last year; they go undefeated. Were they ranked in the top 10? I don't even think they were. San Diego State does have that win over Stanford, so you can make a case for them, but most of the teams just don't have the schedule, and they're not going to have the wins to even be considered. But if a team comes up where I think maybe they have a chance, I will add them into this. So how about the teams eliminated this week? We add, 11 more? Kansas State, Duke, West Virginia, Texas A&M, Oregon, Utah, Wake Forest, Maryland, Minnesota, Florida, and Louisville. So these teams now have 2 losses, and a 2-loss team is not absolutely 100% definitely eliminated. I mean, there's like a 0.01% chance that a 2-loss team could get in. It hasn't happened since the playoffs have started, so I don't think it's going to happen this year. It would have to get really, really crazy at the end of the season for a 2-loss team to get in. Because I'm looking at some conferences that may get 2 teams in. I'm looking at, if Ohio State wins out, Penn State has 1 loss to Ohio State, they could both get in. We're looking at the SEC. Auburn wins out. Alabama has 1 loss to Auburn. I think Alabama still could get in. Very likely will get in. So there are a lot of scenarios at play here. We'll get into that maybe on another video. But yeah, the 2-loss teams probably, I mean, it's pretty much a guarantee that if you have 2 losses now, you are eliminated. And we'll start seeing more and more eliminations as we continue to go through the season. But that's going to do it for this week's episode. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more here on the SG1 Sports YouTube channel.